Okay, the scary moment, I'm live. So despite my best pre-preparations, the camera almost tipped over as I turned this on. So, God, I hate short weeks. We got our COVID shots and our flu shots on Wednesday, which meant that I was kind of down yesterday. I worked, but I had to take a nap, and we went to this crazy play that was actually kind of funny. It was so weird. And then we had just a lovely walk home in probably 78-degree weather. It heated up again after being too cold for my taste. So I'm just waiting a little bit to get started. And I'm going to grab my water because even though I'm in like this terrifically small space, I don't always have what I need where I am. And when I stood up today from my computer, kind of took in the totality of the chaos that I've created in the last 2 weeks in my studio. And so we'll start there. I said I'd talk about believing in yourself. And, I can tell you from like when I first went to school, so it probably happened in kindergarten, but I don't really remember that. But I had a very traumatic experience in first grade when the teacher called me out for being a slob, and which I am. I'm chaos. Trust me, the rest of my house is pretty pristine, but when I'm in my zone working, it's chaos. And right now I have like a stack of folders that I went through for classes and, miscellaneous other things. And they've now moved onto the floor because I don't have room on my desk, because these are things that I took out of a cabinet because I didn't want them to get lost in time. I forget about things when I can't see them. So I took them out so I could go through and make a list of what was there and sort them out a little bit. I can see from where I'm standing, put up wall calendars, which I've had for years, and I kind of quit doing them, and because I thought it'd be nice to have white space, but I also need to figure out where the hell I am. So I now have wall calendars again, and this pile of crap that I need to go through this weekend. But how does that relate to believing in yourself? So literally people they see the chaos, and I think they assume that I must be either stupid or disorganized. Yeah, I am that. But they don't see that there is other more important stuff going on, and that's really why I breed chaos, because I need to keep moving with my brain, which is very active. And once I kind of like I calmed down that pile of files, and then I just moved on to the next thing and haven't gotten to the step of sorting them out and putting them back. So that's how I work. And right now I'm trying to put together another tool for the pattern tailor, and it needs dozens of drawings, because while the concept itself is not difficult, there are a lot of kind of moving parts in it. And I realized today that I'm really writing textbooks. I'm not writing just like a pattern. I've never written just a pattern. And so it requires these very deep dives, and I would like to not think about that tool for a little bit. But if I put it aside, I know that I will move on to something else, because something else will keep my brain going. So I have to have 3 things that I'm focused on, so that when I get completely bored, I can move on to something else, but also that I don't have too many things, so my brain's not being pulled in too many directions. And right now I'm kind of juggling a lot of things. I'm always juggling a lot of things. Love your name, Clean Cashmere. I would not have it any other way. Well, back to being a slob, or being called out for being a slob, when I was in first grade. And I remember being quite traumatized. It was very embarrassing. And my parents were just like, why would the teacher call you something that you're not? This was back in the 60s, so don't get up in arms. Everybody was treated But I was kind of a sensitive soul. So this is the thing. I will not change my ways. I will acknowledge that I'm wrong and acknowledge that there would be a better way to do things, but I am really kind of incapable of not following this trajectory that I have. So still am the same person who was stuffing everything into my drawer in the first grade classroom without any regard to, it was just like I wanted to get shit in there so I could get on to the next thing. And that was why I was called out for being a slob. I had wrinkled papers and, the teacher was like pulling them out and shaming me. And that's pretty much my life experience, is that people look at how I operate and try to impose some sort of shame on me. And I continue to do what I want to do. So for some reason, despite this being called out and people not approving of my rather chaotic work style, I am very positive that I am always, not that I'm always doing what I should be doing, but that I have to pursue my passions, that I can't do anything else. And I say that from a position of incredible privilege because by rights, I should have been working a crappy job my whole life instead of being able to do this. And, thankfully, Mitch saved me from that. So I've had to balance this, people never seeing my potential, never understanding how my brain works, and being fairly certain that I need to do what makes me happy. And so, I've gone to therapy my entire adult life, partly because of the shaming in first grade. But I also came from a, let's say, family unit that wasn't right for me. I'm not sure that any of them were to blame, but it was a traumatic experience. I was sexually assaulted in 1983. A lot of things have created this kind of difficulty interacting with the rest of the world. But I'm always really sure about me. And I've never understood why no one sees who I am and what I am and what I could be. So I've had to have a lot of belief in myself. And, somehow I've been able to, it's just got to be something that's in me. But I've developed lots of tools to help me believe in myself. And it's been hard because we live in a culture that does not, we like creativity, but we don't want to support creativity. And I work in a niche market where I would say at cross purposes to the regular designer position. I don't know how to explain it. So I have this intense passion which has come out about fit and inclusion and helping people understand that they can make adjustments to their garments, whether they're sewing or knitting or whatever, and it can improve your life to have things that work for you. But I'm not into trying to create something that's going to be, I'm never going to have something on hot right now. I can tell you that. I have my own fashion perspective, I have my own design ideas, and that's what I pursue. And I'm, to be really honest, I am not seriously working on designs to sell anymore because I can't make any money at it. So I'm only making designs that allow me to work on my fit projects. And then, I get off on things because my brain has to always have something. And so, despite the fact that I can't make a living at this, I've always done it. I used to teach when I lived in San Francisco to make money, and I'm too old. I don't meet any of the credentialing for teaching in Washington State at the college level. So, I teach my own classes when I can get my shit together, which is rare. But I just have this incredible drive to pursue these topics that I get into my head. And so one of the things that I found years and years ago was that everybody used to say, you've got to do stuff in the morning, you got to get stuff done in the morning. And I realized that, I can't really see without these, but I realized that I should be using that time to do what I need to pursue, not, running errands and going grocery shopping and all the other stuff that I do. And so, we had our years of conflict over that. Like, how am I going to balance my time so that I get my time in my studio, get the other stuff done that I need to get done. And, for 15 or 16 years I taught as well. So how do you balance that and, not become bitter and twisted? So what I came to understand, it's a very long time to understand this, because I resist everything. Even stuff I want to do, I resist it. So I finally realized that if I just set up a routine, a schedule for getting all my stuff done. And, so Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, I wash linens, towels, bed sheets, whatever is up on those days. I run those loads of laundry. Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, I do clothes. Sunday, I don't do laundry at all, but I do my ironing. I do the dishes every morning when I get up while I'm making my coffee. Now I make yogurt twice a week. I'll be folding laundry from what I did the day before, putting things away, tidying up. Right now I'm freezing produce for the winter, so I'll work on that project for a little bit in the morning. And then I'm done. I get myself ready for the day, and I go after I eat my breakfast, I go into my studio, and I work in here until I fix lunch. And let me tell you, as a senior citizen, you end up with a lot more doctor's appointments than you ever thought you would have. Right now I'm going to PT, so I have to dash off and do that sometimes. But I always do my appointments at the end of the day, or as close to the end of the day as I can arrange. My husband does everything at the crack of fucking dawn. I can't imagine why. And yes, he's done, but ruin my whole freaking day if I do that. So it's just finding these little things that accommodate me and also accommodate the rest of my life. So at noon, or at 12:30, I go down, I make lunch for the two of us. It used to just be me, and eat lunch. Now I do word puzzles, so I allow myself a little time to do that, and then I come back and I'm here until 5 o'clock. And so then at 5 o'clock I pack up what needs editing and review that I can work on downstairs while Mitch plays LPs. And this is something we do during the week, Mondays and Fridays. It's 90 minutes, not an hour, so we call it the music hour, but 2 days a week it's actually an hour and a half. I love it because it gets me out of kind of the immediacy of my projects. I select 2 or 3 things to take downstairs. I sit at the table and I edit, which I love to do, and then I usually continue to work after he quits playing music until I fix dinner at 6:30. Sometimes I futz around. I also sometimes do my crossword puzzle, and then I fix dinner, we eat dinner, and then I'm on my knitting time. And I can literally only get up to pee and to make dessert, and that's all I do after 7:30. I'm done. I don't do dishes. Oh, I forgot to say, after lunch, I clean up the counters, although I rarely wash dishes after lunch. But I tidy everything up because sometimes Mitch is making bread, so I try and leave the kitchen usable. It's very small for another person. And because Mitch is retired, he now drives me around to we go do the grocery shopping. I have a thing on my calendar that says grocery shopping or therapist. So I either talk to the captain or we go to the grocery store on Thursdays at 11 o'clock. And by really structuring my time, I can see a path to getting through these projects that take literally weeks and months, and some of them, like my book, is taking years, and still accommodate my life. So there is some tension around the fact that I don't make any money, and I've made less money in the last couple of years because I was developing a pattern tailor, and I just really was crap at putting classes together. I just had too much going on, and we've traveled a lot, so post-COVID. So one of the things that's really a difficult, and any family unit has to decide how they're going to allocate your resources, is that I have not had the need to make money. I like making money. Actually, it's really kind of nice when you are getting money and you're not feeling guilty about the money that you're spending. But I'm not that good at it. Mitch was good at making money. So it's, you have to weigh out a lot of things. And of course now I don't want to say at the end of my career, but closer to that than the beginning. And I have less energy. So when I wrote a book in 2004, I got up at 5:30 every morning to work on the 96 illustrations that I did. And that was how I got that done. But one of the things that I have really had to fight against is how my time gets valued. And I find that the biggest way to get people to value your time is to value it yourself. And so I will resist and I will say no when I need to be doing other things. I also then, in exchange for that, try and be gracious about making exceptions. I'm probably not as gracious as I think I am. And I think I started to say how Mitch now drives me around, like on my errands. So like today I needed to go to the butcher to pick up tomatoes. I know that makes no sense. And I'd heard on the radio that traffic was going to be really bad this weekend because of some highway work that they're doing. So I said, well, you take me today, not our usual day. And so we did that, but he will take me around on my errands, and he just parks in like loading zones, and then I can run in and I don't have to find a parking spot. So that's really excellent. He will take me over to my PT appointment, and then I walk home so that I get some exercise as well as, but I don't have to walk both ways because I don't have time for that. And, I'll like dart off to the grocery store if we need something, that sort of thing. There's one like 5 blocks away. And I guess the long and short of this is, so I am happy to talk to anyone about this or your struggles. You can DM me or just DM me. It's real. If you're feeling it, it's real. And no amount of organizing or systems, anything like that, is going to make it anything but a battle that you have to always be kind of ready to fight. The other thing that I do is I give myself credit for like tiny incremental things that I get done. And when I make my to-do list, it's really important that I don't say, which I did recently, it was like, organize the horizontal best start calculator. Well, that was like a 25-step process, and it sat on my to-do list forever, and I just felt like I got stalled out when in fact I was doing a lot. And you need to kind of break things down. It's really good to break things down into bite-sized pieces because women tend to have small bits of time, and if we don't waste those by scrolling our phones, we can actually get things done. So if I need to fold laundry, I'll say, okay, so how many towels can I get done while the milk is heating for Mitch's coffee? It's 1 minute in the microwave, and I'll go over and I can fold 2 towels. Intricate process. Or I'll set like a goal that I'm going to get X done by the time they do the news at the top of the hour on the NPR. So I really give myself, because that satisfies me. I'm not competitive with other people, but I do love hitting a goal. So I make lots of small goals. I will, in my head, when I finish something, I will go, yay, you! Because nobody's going to be impressed when I say, like, I knocked out 5 drawings for my pattern. They're going to think that's nothing. So I have to, acknowledge that I organized the process, I went through the process, and I did it. So anyhow, it's getting late, and it's bloody hot in here. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. So I'm hoping we have dinner plans with friends at their house on Saturday. Nobody ever invites me anyplace. I'm very excited about that. And we're supposed to go out to dinner with other friends on Sunday, except I think they've got COVID, so don't expect that to happen. But I've got a couple of things in the fridge that I can cook, so, and the weather's supposed to be a little cooler. I have, infinite knitting projects. I'm not sure I've got what. So right now I'm knitting something. I'm knitting a swatch. Not sure I love it, but it's also got linen in it, so I can't really tell until I finish the swatch and can wash it. So, hey there, Anne Marie. So I gotta get enough done so that I can take it off the needles and wash it. I've got a project that I saved from the dust bin, and I finished kind of rethinking that so that I actually saved it, which was very cool. And I have a project that I need to get my numbers put together so that I can get it onto needles, because I think I have a deadline coming up. So anyhow, that's me. In the meantime, I am going to finish getting ready for the music hour, after which I will be making a martini, and always look forward to that, and a night of knitting until I can't knit anymore. And I've got a pile of magazines I could go through. So, and I should do some of my PT, but there you have it. So, hey, go off into the world and know that what you're doing is, if it's what your heart tells you, it's what you should be doing, and that it's really hard. Bye-bye for now.